Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a playthrough of the solo mode in Bloodstones. This is a solo or competitive war game that I previewed with a TTS playthrough back when it was on crowdfunding. But let's see what the real thing looks like in action. Disclaimer, by the way, that I got a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So I'd mostly forgotten about Bloodstones because they never sent me a review copy after the preview, so I just kind of put it out of mind. But then they did reach out for the expansion. These are things I printed out because they have a new, more fully featured automa, whereas the original solo mode is just a series of scenarios, kind of like puzzles. So I'm also, probably pretty soon after this video goes up, going to have a video of the prototype of the new solo mode, which is, again, more of a fully featured automa and also has, quests you're doing and stuff. But since I'd only done a TTS playthrough of the base game scenarios, I thought I would play another one and give more thoughts, more fully featured kind of a review of this. But last time I played the second scenario out of the campaign, so this time I'm going to jump ahead to scenario number 7 with the Necromancers. And there's a little bit of narrative. Let's read that and then get into the play of the game itself and talk you through the setup. The ley lines were filled with energy. The acolytes all began to feel the magic course through their veins as the ritual was beginning. The sacrifice was strapped to the altar, ropes binding his hands and feet. He was trying to talk, but the gag was preventing him. Eyes wide, the panic rose in his body as he saw the dark-clothed acolytes surround him. They started their demonic chant. Eshtig stepped forward. He drew his dagger and thrust it into the unwilling victim. The chant continued loudly now. The blood drained from the body of the sacrifice as he died. "The ritual is complete." Eshtig silenced the acolytes by raising his hand. The blood was still visible on the blade of the dagger. "Arise, my minion." An unholy energy visibly flowed out of the acolytes and fed into the dead body on the altar. The corpse began to move. Its eyes opened and glowed white. Its arms and legs snapped free of the restraints. "Yes," Eshtig was delighted. "Serve me. Together we will rule this world. We will bind all under our leadership." The acolytes began chanting once more. The undead creature was fully upright now. "Soon we shall reveal ourselves to the world. 1,000 years our order has waited, 1,000 years of hiding, 1,000 years of being unable to perform the ritual. But now the magic has returned. Now the darkness can once again rule." Eshtig looked on the unholy creation before him. It was a horrifyingly beautiful creature, with no will of its own, but stronger and faster than a mere mortal. It was his to command, and soon he would have more. The undead would outnumber the living, and all would fall before him. The reign of the Necromancers was about to begin. And like I said, this is scenario 7 out of 18 total. There's 3 per faction out of the 6 factions. So this is the first one for the Necromancers, Strange Bedfellows. Your plans for conquering the world must begin somewhere. Nobody can hope to succeed without help. The goblins of Horfest would fit nicely into our armies. See if you can convince them to join our forces. So we have to capture, there are 3 goblin villages, red villages on the board, and a red citadel. We need to capture them, and they are in the deserts, as you'll see, which normally would kill people, but they're reminding me that the undead do not die in the desert. And we lose if we take too many regroups, if we waste too much time before we end the game. And they've got all this setup information here, but they've also got a map, much easier to use. And for the AI decisions, we need to have either the map I showed you before or this one for the Swan Dance board. This is one of the many nice cloth boards in the game, because these numbers will sometimes determine AI priority. All right, so yeah, what's going on in this scenario? We have nothing but our citadel to start. This is like our home base, all the way down at the south of the map. We have a ton of hillfolk units and fortifications. That's the brown and green ones here. And then at the very sort of middle-ish top, you can barely see them, are the red places we have to capture. That's representing the goblins we want to recruit to our cause. Now, some scenarios have active armies that are coming to try and kill you. In this case, this is a lot simpler. The goblins, the red units, will not move or do anything. And the hill folk, when they have a turn, they just draw a token from the bag. And if it's a unit, they're going to put it on the closest village to one of my necromancers, or the closest to their citadel, their little home base. And yeah, that's basically it. They'll run away from combat if they can. And that's all we got to go with. Yeah, in terms of my strategy, a few things. So clearly I need to quickly build a force and get to the north. All the villages I need to capture for the goblins are in desert, which means I basically can't capture them unless I've used the special power of the undead faction, which is creating these undead units. Anytime one of my necromancers is in a battle and defeats the enemy and forces them to lose one of their units, I can turn it into an undead unit. And these guys get to move for free every turn, as you'll see when we get some of them. They're pretty good in fighting as well. And the big thing is they can survive in deserts, which means I can leave them in one of these deserts at the end of a round, which I can't do with my other units. And then at the beginning of each round is when you can capture villages. So basically, I need to fight the hill folk to turn some of their bodies into my undead minions, and then get those undead with supporting units into these deserts, blow up the castles that are protecting the villages. It's going to go great. But initial strategy, I need to start moving up. The hill folk have the water completely surrounded, and I couldn't even build into the water unless I first have a village placed adjacent to it. So I think what I'm going to do, my initial strategy, because this is kind of the easiest path in terms of movement cost, I think I'm going to go here and here, try to get like a village here maybe the first turn, and then move through the desert, because as long as you don't stay in the desert, you don't die, to take out this castle, and then this castle makes them undead from their corpses. And then like from there, I can kind of cut around this mountain, maybe make some more undead over there, and try to take these castles. So I'm going to try to totally avoid the western strongholds where the toughest hillfolk units are, and just not try to get involved with them if I can help it. But let's get into how to actually play the game. I'm going to act like you haven't watched my previous video and to start fresh. So to start out the game, you get to spawn some units for free. Let's go to the side of the board. Each faction has its own really nice bag filled with these bakelite-ish kind of tokens. And those are going to mostly be the units you can summon. So you can see the distribution here. I got 4 necromancers, 1 leader, 4 cavalry, etc. Importantly, in this scenario, because I have not recruited the goblins to my cause yet, they are not eligible as units. I cannot play those, which is too bad because they can stay in deserts, which would help out to conquer their desert fortresses, and they get +1 when attacking, and there's a ton of them. So it's definitely going to be a negative to not be able to play them. So I draw 9 tiles to start things out. Good. I see I got really good draws here because I got one of my necromancers, which I need to summon undead because they need to be in the battle that creates the undead. And I got my leader who's going to give me a lot of free movement. Super, super happy with this. I also got goblins that I can't play. I got boats that I can't summon because I'm not next to water. I got a castle, which is not very useful in a totally non-defensive scenario. The skirmishers are only good in forest, but they are free to summon. I might actually want to use them to be able to get some villages out. So just to talk through the tiles real quick. So each one has the image of the unit. They might have on the left 1 or 2 of these sort of Celtic knot symbols. That is the cost to summon them as a unit, to build them. And that cost is paid with other tiles from your hand. So like if I wanted to, as I do, play this necromancer, I would need to pay 2 other tiles. Hey, let's get rid of these goblins we're not going to use. And similarly, if I wanted to play my leader, I'm going to get rid of these 2 boats to pay for it. Now, the value on the right, 5 or 4 or 2, is used for most other things in the game. It's what you use to pay to move people and lots of other stuff. But that I'll get into more detail with in a moment. All right, so I could also summon him. And then this guy is a swords fighter. He's just a straight up +1. There's only 2 of them in the game, so I might as well summon him. And you know what? Let's just summon everybody we can afford. So I'll get rid of the castle and summon the skirmisher as well. And everybody has to start out with your stronghold. Here, I'll just kind of stack them a bit. Unless you are next to water, and then you could summon boats right into the water like that. So that's all we need for setup. Let's get to how the game plays. So in a given turn, I will first capture any villages. I can pay to do so if my people are occupying enemy villages. Then if I had any undead summon, I would get to move them. So we're not going to be able to do any of that for a little while. But then we get to our main actions. This is where the big main turn happens. And I do have a hand of 6 tiles. If you saw my previous play with the Horse Lords, their special powers that they have 7 tiles at a time, but most factions have 6. And by the way, of those initial 9, if I didn't use some of them, I would have kept them as part of my initial hand of 6. So I have gotten, let's flip back over, I've gotten a siege engine, which is actually pretty dang important because almost everything I need to attack, all of the red places, has a castle in it, and siege engines give +2 in combat against castles or citadels. So I definitely want to summon that at some point. The castles we already know are basically useless. The goblins are useless. The boat's pretty useless. And then this one is cavalry, which give +1 attack in planes. But the big thing about them is that whichever faction has more cavalry in a battle prevents the defender from being able to withdraw, which means they kind of avoid the fight in the first place. I'm not going to need any cavalry right away because I'm mostly going to be going into places with castles and such. But eventually I might want to summon some to prevent the hill folk from being able to escape from battle and not feed my undead desire with necromancers. All right, now, so what can I do? I can build a unit. That works exactly the same as what you already saw. I could discard some tiles from my hand to place other tiles, and right now they would have to go on my stronghold. You have to build on either your stronghold or on villages you've placed. I could move units. To do that, I discard a tile, and I get to distribute however I want this much movement among my units, and it costs 1 to move into plains, 2 into forests, 3 into hills. You can't move into mountains. 1 into desert, although at the end of the round in the draw tile step, anybody that's in a desert will die unless they're undead or goblins in this case. 1 on seas if I have a boat, and then I can build some villages. Yeah, so I can move units, and you can discard multiple tiles to pay the cost. I can also start battles when you have your unit sharing a location with an enemy. Then you can start the battle, and you can mix and match these actions however you want. So you could move some people in, then start the battle when you're ready, then move them to another place, then start another battle. But the key thing is you do have to end every battle before you move on from your main actions. You cannot leave kind of contested places on the board. Finally, I get to build villages. I have to have a contiguous line to my citadel to do that, though. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. And then I'll draw tiles, see if anybody dies in the desert, and I'll regroup if I have exhausted my entire bag. So when I go through the entire bag and have to reshuffle my discard pile back in, that's going to cause the regroup. And don't forget, if I regroup twice, I have lost the game. So I don't want to use more tiles than I need to. I don't necessarily want to summon every unit. And the big thing is I don't want to summon too many units too early because it is going to cost me to actually move them where I need them to go, which means that maybe it was a mistake to even summon as many as I already did. But anyway, key thing I want to accomplish this turn is to get a village over here. And then that'll be a nice little beachhead for me to stage my first attack into there, take that castle, whoever else they bring in. But the castle is a 3 defender by itself, and as you'll see in a moment, the hillfolk are going to be able to summon somebody else in there too. So I'm going to certainly need to get this siege engine in action, but I'd rather build a village here and then next turn summon it and charge in. That's kind of what I'm thinking I want to do. All right, so how much is it going to cost me? The leader, every faction has leaders. The leader special ability is that when it moves, it can bring 1 person with it for free. So basically, I'm really moving 1, 2, 3 people. So that'd be 3, and then 4, 5 is kind of what I want to do. I'm going to leave that skirmisher behind to form a chain to build my village. You'll see that in a second. But 5 is an awkward number because, as you can see, I don't have any directly 5 valued things. Let's do 4. Here, I'll get rid of the castle to pay. We'll kind of slow play a bit. We'll do the leader 1, 2, the skirmisher 3, and the sword 4. So we'll need to move the sword up, but that's fine. We'll have enough actions next turn, I'm sure. And then I think that's all I want to do this round. I know that might seem a little weak, and I am going to give the hillfolk more time to summon people. But you really don't want to waste your tiles and waste your time, because again, regrouping is going to lose you the game. Although I am putting more enemies in my way, so maybe I'm thinking of things wrong. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so now I can build villages, and I need to discard 1 tile. You can only discard 1 tile to build villages, and whatever the number of pips on it is, I can spend to build villages in plains for 1, forests for 1, or hills for 2. And they need to either be adjacent to an existing citadel or village, like I could build here, or here, or here, or here, or there, or they need to have a contiguous line of my units from a village or citadel to the place I want to build. So even without these 2 units here, these units would allow me to build a village right there. So I'm going to discard my goblin because he has the lowest value to get 3 pips, and I could build up to 3 points worth of villages. The only one I care about is here. That's the only beachhead I need since, again, in this scenario, the enemy is never going to attack me. I don't know if it's the best plan. Maybe I should have just charged forward and attacked right away, but it's okay. Then finally, I drop back up to 6 tiles. I check if anybody's on the desert. No, and I would regroup, which I don't need to. Okay, now the hillfolk take their turn. And like I said, in many scenarios, they would have a fully featured actual army attacking me. But here I just draw a single unit, in this case, a Reaver, which is a +1 only when attacking. This is great. This is actually a pretty much useless unit for them because they're never going to attack me. And now they're going to place it on the closest village to my nearest necromancer. My necromancer is right here. So this village is 1, 2 away. I think they count water as well because I could just build a boat. And 1, 2 to there. And 3 to that one, 3 to that one. The citadel's not a village. So yeah, it's between these 2. And the AI pretty much always breaks ties by lower values. So yeah, that one is a 37. So they're not going to build in my way. That's cool. So there we go. That's it for their turn. Let's go again. All right, so what I want to do this turn, I want to get the leader and the necromancer. That's 2 bonus attack. The sword would be 3, and the siege engine would be 5. That would put me 2 above the castle. And I'd also, as you'll see in a second when I get to combat, I'd also be drawing more tiles than them. Seems like it should be enough. So sure, let's try it out. All right, so I'm going to discard the goblin to build the siege engine. And then, oh man, it's going to cost a lot because deserts only cost 1 to move into, but hills cost 3. Whew, let's see if I have enough. All right, so my castle will give me 4. My boat will give me 8. Let's see if that's sufficient. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Crud. Yeah, it's definitely not enough, is it? So that was 4. 5, 6, 7 is why leaders are awesome. Maybe I just bring in the siege engine and leave him behind and hope that I'll be okay. But that would still be 8, 9, 10. Wow, maybe I should have built a boat and tried to like cut around this hill, like go up there. But then I would have to fight their boat, and I might lose the battle because you need boats to kind of allow yourselves to hop over. You can move for free over an existing boat to any like adjacent space. So I could like for one movement go boop like that. All right, so wait. Let's rewind back. I forget even how many movement I spent. We can leave the sword behind, I guess. So that's 1, 4, 5, 8. Okay, there we go. That's exactly 8. That's what I spent from my 2 tiles. Swordy boy over there can just hang out for now. Oh, crud. You know what else I just realized? I can't build like another village to move my forward operating base because I can't leave any units in the desert at the end of the round. Oh, no, I could. Ooh. People dying from deserts happens before you build villages. So if I get someone I don't care about, like maybe the skirmisher, into the desert, they can help me build a forward base with another village before they die. I'll have to think about that. But let's get to how combat works. So we've got these 2 bags, light gray and dark gray. I'm going to be the dark ones for the entire game. And this bag has tiles with values from 2 to 5, 2 of each, 2, 3, 4, 5, double of each of those. And you usually draw 3 of these, but if you have more units in the battle, I've got 1, 2, 3 units versus their 1, then you get to draw 4. And let's see how I did. I did meh. Not great. So you're always going to use the 3 highest tiles you can. Let's put that back. But you can discard or use 1 tile from your hand to sub in. So now my 3 highest tiles, I'm using the sword guy, are a 4, a 3, and a 5. These 2s can go back. That's pretty solid. And they're just going to draw 3 straight up. Oh, this looks good. I should not have wasted my tile. All right, so let's show you how this is calculated. So first, you just add up the basic math. So again, this is 4, 7, 12. I'm using the same value on the right here. 12 versus 9, so I'm up by 3. And then your units give you stuff. That's where all these +1s come in. Some of them are conditional, like cavalry, only +1 in plains. Skirmishers are only +1 in forest. Some people are only +1 in attack and defense. Siege engines are +2 if they're fighting a castle or citadel, and castles are +3 when defending. So all I've got is a +3, 7, 10, 12 total. And I've got a +1 for my leader, +1 for my necromancer, +2 from that. So I've got 4, 7, 12, 16. I definitely didn't need to use this. I completely crushed them. And when I should say, at the beginning of battle, the defender can withdraw if they have equal or more cavalry, as I mentioned, but not if there's a fortification like a castle in the battle. All right, so when you lose a battle, you have to destroy 1 of your units from the battle. So in this case, we're going to destroy this castle. And dun dun dun, whenever a necromancer is in a battle and a unit is eliminated, they get to resummon them as undead, which are also +1, and they're going to get to move in their own time. We'll get to all that soon. Now, their village does not go away, and that's important because I can't build villages where they have pieces. During the capture villages step of the turn sequence, just like for building villages, I can discard a single tile and spend that many pips to get rid of that many villages around the board. That's really important in the competitive game because you're not only like making room for your own villages to be built, but it also gets you victory points. But there generally are no victory points in this solo mode, so none of that really matters. But yeah, I'm going to stop there. Still this 1 cavalry tile left, but I don't really know what to do with it. So I'm not going to build any villages. I'm going to draw back to 6. Which, remember, brings me closer to the reshuffle and getting closer to losing. All right, wow, a lot of cavalry. Another skirmisher, that's good in the forest. And this is a shield. They give you +1 when defending, and they also become tiebreakers for a tie. I think in the expansion, they're changing the rule even backwards compatibly to the main game that the defender always wins ties unless the attacker has more shields than the defender. So I'm just going to play with that rule in here because I think it's going to become the official rule going forward. Oh, now this is interesting. I'm going to the Hillfolk turn. They summon on the nearest village to a necromancer, including one that I haven't conquered yet. And that means that they start a battle and I can turn them into a undead as well. So gosh, I'm not even in a hurry to leave this village. So this is a sword with +1. I've got +1, 2, 3. He's not helping out anymore. So I've got a 2-point advantage already. And I'm drawing 4, keeping 3. So I imagine this might be fine. Okay, we're going to stick with it this time, right? We're going to hope they don't draw crazy. Uh-oh. It is not good. Oh, God. 14, 15 total for them, and 9, 12, 13, 14. Oh, 15 for me. Defender wins ties. Jeez, that was close. But it's going to be less close from now on because I got another undead from this guy's corpse. Thank you. Okay, and that's it for their turn. Let's get to mine. I could capture their villages right now, but I kind of want to be able to keep on building up. So I think I'm going to try to take this castle this turn and then capture both of these in a second. And now I have another phase that actually matters, the move undead phase. For each undead I have, I can move them up to 2 spaces, and they can move through any terrain, like deserts, mountains, don't bother them. They can't move through water unless they have a boat to ride like anybody else. But they do have to stop, just like any other unit. You cannot move out of a space with a enemy unit. Okay, so undead's going to come in here. This undead's going to go back here to give me the option, if I so choose, to build a village going up. All right, so that was all free. Now let's get the rest of my dudes in. Oh, crud, I guess I have to leave somebody. Well, I can always bring somebody back. Oh, no, that costs so dang much. Well, can I win with just, the... Oh, if I don't bring the necromancer. Crud. You know what? Let's leave the one undead here. I guess that'll maybe work out better because they can move so easily anyway. All right, so then I'll use... How much do I need? There's a plain space, so I really just need to move 1, 2 points worth. So sure, let's do that for 3. So that's 1 with the leader, 2 the siege engine. And then for the third, in case he becomes relevant, let's move that sword guy I left behind up. All right, how's this combat looking? I got 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 3, so another 2-point advantage. And again, I outnumber... Whoa! Okay, we don't even need to draw. Those are the 3 highest values you can get, 2 5s and a 4. So we definitely beat them. All right, so that castle's gone. And, oh my gosh. This is the first scenario for the Necromancers, so this is not the hardest one. This is kind of introducing yourself to them. But gosh, the undead are fun. All right, I think, honestly, I'll stop there. Because, again, I don't want to use any more tiles than I need to. And I'm not going to build any villages, but I will destroy villages in a moment. I got another goblin boy. And on the Hillfolk turn, they send a +1 attacking. So they got 1, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Good luck, buddy. What do I get? It's pretty good. Oh, I'm missing 1. And, ooh, a 5. Okay. Yeah, again, I don't think they can possibly win. Because they could, if they got 5, 5, 4, they'd be 1 up, but I'm up by a lot. So that's another death and another undead. Jeez, this is going to be a rout. All right, now at the start of my turn, boom, let's capture some villages. Oh, wait, actually, is that enough? I forget, does it cost more to capture from a hill? Yeah, I should have realized it does cost an extra 1 to capture from a hill. Okay, so I'll spend the 3 goblin to do 1, 2, 3 points worth of captures. Again, normally these would be worth victory points, but here it doesn't matter. Because, yeah, I still want to build up a village eventually. All right, now I get to move undead. So I'll put that one there, put that one there, build a nice train for us. And the rest, I don't really feel... Am I ready to fight those? I mean, it's just a castle. I've been killing castles all the time. Now, the citadel up there plus the castle, that's an 8. Because the citadel is 5 by itself. So I definitely need, my full cohort of undead and siege engines and everything to kill them. But I've got all the undead I can ever get. So sure, let's go ahead and start moving up some. Let's use one of these cavalry to move 3 worth. So I can move... The undead cannot be moved by my tiles. So that's 1 with my leader and 1 with my necromancer, I guess. Well, at least me with 1 left, doesn't it? Well, hey, let's say that I'm using my skirmisher for 2 instead. All right, so we'll stop for now. Now we get to build villages. I'm just going to build a single one here with that guy because I cannot build in here since there is currently an enemy piece in there. So there we go. Just keep my little my little Congo line going. I'm going to draw back up. I'm still doing pretty... Oh, that's my other siege engine. We got to get that baby out. And remember, importantly, my undead does not mind the heat, so the desert does not hurt them at all. All right, let's see what the Hillfolk have to throw at me next. Oh, it's their leader. You're going to be a dead leader soon. And I I think they're technically attacking me because it's their turn, so they can't withdraw, I believe. All right, so is there any point in drawing for it? I actually have fewer people now, right? Well, oh yeah, the thing. Oh, I'm only up by 1. Whoa, because I have just my leader, my necromancer, helping me here. So this could actually go poorly. Oh, 5 and 4 though is a good start. Oh man, yeah, that should be enough. Although I guess if they get 5, 5, 4, then they would tie me, but I'd win the tie. Never mind. No point in drawing again. I drew well there, though. And no more undead to summon, so that guy just goes away. I want to summon my siege engine. Should I just summon it here, or should I try to build another village? Because I think at this point I probably have strong enough units to take out everything except maybe the Citadel Castle combo. But if I get like all 4 of my undead and both my siege engines in the same place, that will definitely fall pretty easily. So yeah, what the hey, let's just summon that down here, and I'm not going to worry about defeating any more villages. I'm just going to try to consolidate what I got. And what I got is a lot of undead. Okay, so that guy can move to there. This one can, I don't know, go to the mountains. I should probably be able to destroy these this turn. Yeah, so let's go ahead and try to take out our first desert village. Boom. Let's spend 3 more. How far will that get me? Leader and siege engine 1, 2... and I guess Necromancer 3. And then here, let's spend 3 more for another cavalry for like 1, 2, get them up there. Do I need them in there? I mean, I guess it would make it the easiest fight ever, right? So sure, 3. We'll leave the Necromancer behind for now. Okay, now I'll resolve the battle. So what have I got? 2 and a lot, right? 2, 4, 6, 7 versus 3. Seems like it'll be an easy enough battle. Okay. Oop, there's a 5. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even going to draw for them because, again, I'm up by 3, and the best I could do is 1 better than me. All right, so that kills the castle, and I can leave the undead in the space afterwards because I have to actually capture the village. But that does mean that since I can't move the undead anymore, I can't get into that village this turn. I need to get them out of the desert. How much movement do I have left? 3 and 5. 3 would be enough to get all of them in there, because I could like just kill the other castle, and that would sort of speed things up a little bit for me. But then I need to get them back out again. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to spend 3 and waste 1. Or not waste 1. I can do, so that's 2 with the leader, bringing 1 of them with him. And 3, I'll get the Necromancer in here. And then with the 5 at the end, I'll try to get everybody together again. So what's the fight here? 2, 4, 5 versus 3. I'm up by 2. And, uh-oh, this does not look as good. Okay. Do I want to sub in? Now, since I'm up by 2, that's equivalent to 5, 5, 4. So they would have to get a perfect 5, 5, 4 and win the defensive tie to beat me. It seems unlikely to happen. Nope, that's enough to see that they've lost. All right, so that guy's gone too. And yeah, I'll bring in my undead to actually capture that place later. So let's go ahead and spend the 5 here to move. So that'll be 1, 2, 3. I guess I can barely see to the top of the board. Should I go ahead and move more with the 5? Head toward the last castle? Sure. 4. If I leave the wherever the Necromancer is, that's where they're going to spawn. So let's go 5 there. We'll leave the siege engine behind a little bit. And I'm not going to build any villages. That's not my jam anymore. But I just draw 6. I'm very close to my first reshuffle, but clearly I'm fast-tracking this to victory. All right, and the hill folk are going right here this time with another plus on attack Reaver. So I have a siege engine there, so it's just 2 versus 1, the slight advantage. But I've been drawing well. It might be enough. There's a 5. Oh, there's a 4. Oh, my gosh. Give me a break. Okay, yeah, they're dead. All right, now, starting my turn, I'm going to capture village. I guess I can capture 2, right? So that's 1, and then, I don't know, sure, we'll capture that one. So that's 1 out of 3 red ones, although I still have to kill the Citadel as well. Okay, then I get to move undead for free. So I want to, this one I'll just start sending towards the Citadel. I don't think he's going to be needed elsewhere. This one can go over here. Oh, they aren't going to be able to reach it yet, are they? So 1, 2, okay. And there is no way to capture villages in the desert without using the undead in this scenario, because I can't do the thing to build villages, leaving them there to die. They need to actually be there at the start of the round. All right, but let's go ahead and kill some things. So I got a lot of 3s and then a 5. I guess I'll save that in case we get a really bad combat draw. All right, so I'll spend 1, 3 to move. So that's 1, 2, 3, I guess. And then I guess I'll use another 3 to send. Do I need the... Yeah, I mean, it's better to be safe, right? I'll send the other siege engine in, so I got 2 movement left. Hey, it's these guys. Boom. Good job. I don't want to put them in the sands where they'll die. So what's our combat this time? 2, 4, 5, 6 versus 3. So 3-point advantage. Usually that's a lock unless I just draw terribly. Oh, that's... Nope. Okay, I didn't get the highest possible, but I'm 1 off, so yeah, they're dead. But that's another village I can't take yet. Which means I need to get out of there. And I just realized it's kind of a circuitous path to get back where I want to be. That's okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, that's the best I can do. Okay, let's spend both of these goblins for 6 movement, see where that gets me. So how much is this? Because I don't want to lose any of these people. It's 4, but the leader will make it cost 3. So that means 6 lets me move twice. So 1, 2. And yeah, I'm going to go around next turn. So that actually might take a decent number of tokens for me. Or not tokens, tiles. Speaking of tiles, I'm assuming, yep, I am 1 shy, so I am going to have to perform my first regroup. And so there we go. Now, in a competitive game, I would now score all the villages that I had on the board, which would not be very many. But again, doesn't matter in this solo mode. And I also move this token to the 1. If it had gotten to the 2, I would be losing right now. All right, where are the hill giants going to go? Might be killing some of my people. Okay, they got cavalry. So they want to go to the nearest village of my necromancer, which could be that, or that 2, or that 3. Oh, that one. Never mind. It's one of these 2. So which one is a lower number? And it is the plains, which is unfortunate because the cavalry gets a bonus there. So they're 1 versus 2, but I still get to draw 4 since I have 2 guys. Come on, undead. Don't drop the ball at the last moment. Okay. Oh. That's well, actually, I'm only leading by 1, aren't I? Okay. Even though it's kind of overkill, I'm going to sub in one of my 2/5 necromancer ones. I definitely want to save another one for the big boys over there. So that'll get me to the equivalent of the highest value possible without subbing, 14. So since I'm 1 ahead of them, boom, they're done. All right, get out of here. And now at the start of my turn, it's overkill, but I need to spend a castle because it's the lowest value I have to capture this village. I could wait until those undead got there and then capture them both in the same turn. But I want to be bringing the undead. Well, actually, wait a second. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, this guy can't reach to help us out anyway. So you know what? Never mind. I will keep the castle and just wait until next turn and do 2 at once. All right, so undead move. They'll go there to help out next turn. They'll go there. I realize I don't really need 2 of them here, so they can just quick walk. So that guy will be able to make it in time. So I want to get them nearby, and then next turn I can capture, destroy, and win. So again, my lowest values are 4. So how far is 4 going to get me? That's 3 with the leader. 3 to move. It's 4 people, but the leader will take care of one of them. So that's 3, 6. If I spend another 4, so I've got 2 level. Let's make it 12, right? That'll make it a lot easier math-wise. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, there we go. So we're ready to charge in next turn. We have more undead backing us up. Because if we win the battle against the Citadel, both the castle and the Citadel are destroyed because they can't retreat. So I don't have to wait for the start of the turn for that one. All right, Hillfolk, one final last-ditch effort. Hey, it's a +1 cavalry versus... Oh, God, what do I have here? 1. Oh, nothing, 2, 3. I'm only up by 2, actually. 4, 2. Uh-oh, is my luck finally running dry? Ooh, that's ugly. I don't want to lose to that guy. Crud. Oh, I forgot. I'd drawn another. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sub in. Where were they? A 5 for the 2. So it's going to be 12. Let's see how he does. Oh, that's a 5. Oh, that's a 2, though. Okay, I feel a lot better now. I think I can't. Yep, I'm fine. It's only a 10. All right, that was their last chance to be relevant. Good try, Hillfolk. So I'm going to spend 2 from the Skirmisher to destroy or capture those 2 cities. And with that, it's just the home stretch. Undead. And that's going to cost me... Oh, it's another desert, so just 3. So there we go. Boom, 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 boom. And yeah, I've got 7 left, plus the 5 I want to save for the combat. Should I just, spend it to move somebody else up? Could my sword guy make it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, definitely not. Yeah, I don't have any other units I could summon except for the Necromancer, so we'll just fight there. I mean, I think I should be okay, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, versus 8. Crud, it's a tie? Uh-oh. Here we go. For maximum effect, I've grabbed without looking set all the tiles. So, okay, some of them are... Oh, I see a 5 and a 2 and a 4 for me. Let's slowly reveal. Okay, 4. I feel very confident. Let's save that one for last. And a 3. Oh, wait, crud. I just remembered I'm not supposed to see theirs yet. Not that it matters much, because here I definitely would be replacing that. All right, so this is my final total. Remember, we're tied. Okay, so now, oh, crud. 8, 13, 7. I think I win even if they get a 5, which they definitely did not. Ugh, that's a terrible result. So 9 plus 8 is 17 for them. 8, 13 plus 8 is 21 for me. That's all she wrote. All right, so a pretty straightforward, easy win for this one, although it is, again, the first scenario in the set of 3 for the Necromancer faction. But I did want to do a bit of a review for this one before I cover the new solo mode, because I think that's going to be a great improvement. But let's talk about what's here. And I would say, honestly, I don't think my thoughts have changed much since when I previewed it, because the solo mode hasn't really changed very much. I would not say that just the base game is a great buy for pure solo play. It's got a lot of variety. They didn't have all of these when I previewed it. You've got 18 scenarios, and they do change things up quite a bit. Like sometimes there are armies hunting you or other things you have to accomplish, and they do switch up which maps you're on, and being able to play each of the factions is great. It's sort of like a StarCraft-ish little thing. Even like the little stories are pretty fun. And the sort of rules and AI for how they work are generally pretty straightforward. A few times they get a bit more complicated or confusing, but overall I haven't had many questions. Of course, now y'all are going to message me and be like, Mike, you messed up 15 rules, and that'll invalidate that part. But yeah, I really do appreciate the solo campaign for giving you a fun puzzle to work through, especially for the harder scenarios. This one was pretty easy. And also, they are just great for kind of getting used to the factions before you play them in multiplayer. But that's the thing. Multiplayer is where the game shines. The choice and strategy of getting your villages out there, but then trying not to put them in easily attack positions by the other players because they'll get points from them. That's where the game really lives. And I love, I gotta compliment. First of all, the components are beautiful, like the maps, the tiles, everything is great. But I love the multi-use choice. There's a lot like a multi-use card game, which I enjoy as well. But having these tokens and being like, well, I could summon this as a unit, but then I won't be able to do as much on my turn. I won't be able to be as aggressive, put out as many villages, attack as many of their villages, and then them also being mitigation in the combat, and like all that stuff is just awesome. I love the core mechanics here, and also the fact that if you put out a huge army, not only are you going to be slower on that turn, but it's also going to accelerate you going through your bag, and you only get to score your villages on the board 2 or 3 times depending on player count. So if you put a ton of units out, just summon like every turtling defensive unit you can, you're going to fast forward through your bag and probably underscore on villages, and then other players can kind of take their time and pass by you. And I like the varied maps. They have different sizes for different player counts. I like the way water works and how boats can kind of fast track your offense. Now, I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the factions, and I'll still say this is not nearly as asymmetric as, a Cloudspire, but there's also a way simpler game to teach and pick up. Like the Dragon Riders just have a dragon, everything else is basically the same as other people. The Horse Lords have an extra leader, get to draw more tokens, not that different otherwise. But seeing some of the new ones that I had not gotten to play with during the preview period, the Corsairs, who are like really attached to the ocean and get to attack more often. The Chaos Horde is really wacky, although you're supposed to only use them in higher player count games, but they don't have any villages, so their kind of like multiplayer experience is totally different. The Hillfolk aren't that exciting. The Necromancers are pretty cool. I do like their undead. So yeah, there's fun stuff going on with the factions. This is not going to blow you away asymmetrically, although from what I've seen of the new factions, I think they edge more towards the kind of uniqueness of like the Chaos Horde, Necromancers, and Corsairs and the basic stuff, so the expansion should help some with that. But yeah, got to give Bloodstones credit where it's due. This is a really cool multiplayer combat game. Love the components. It is overproduced, but at least overproduced in a way that I appreciate and think is really attractive. But my main assessment back during the previewing campaign still applies here. I would not buy this game just for solo unless this is awesome, which I really hope it is. I haven't actually tried it yet. After I clean up from this play, I'm going to try it out a few times and then record it. So you'll hear my thoughts probably in a week or two. And this one already had its crowdfunding campaign, but it's going to have late pledging open, which is why they sent me this stuff to try it out. So yeah, we shall see. I'm hoping it's friggin' awesome because it looks really good. Just to kind of talk through it, give you a preview of the other video. So you play against 2 enemy factions, so it always sort of models a 3-player game, which is really where you want to be. Like even the 2-player multiplayer game is not the best experience. Each of the factions has like their own special rules and stuff. By the way, I just printed these all out from TTS, so this is not like anything official. We're supposed to look super beautiful. But then also, where are they? this is like something they added for multiplayer and solo. You have these quests. So in solo, you have 2 quests that you're trying to complete. And basically, they all give you ways to score victory points, and it's a race to get as many victory points as possible. And, that might seem a little simplistic, but I think the variety in the factions and the quests is going to hopefully make it really exciting. And just the fact that this solo mode makes victory points a thing, in villages and village placement and village defending suddenly matters, which again is kind of the heart of a lot of the multiplayer game, I think should hopefully make this friggin' great. So we'll find out, but that's it for now. Bloodstones, great game. Not so sure about the solo. We'll see if that improves with the expansion.